It's just another Metro environmental decision. Could you just confirm for us that federal assessment of the Row 8 highway extension in Perth's southern suburbs has not yet commenced?
Senator, what I can confirm is there was a controlled action decision taken on the 7th of September 2009 in relation to the Row highway extension. The assessment has been undertaken through a bilateral agreement. The state assessment has been completed and we're currently awaiting the outcomes of the appeals process. When that process is complete, then we'll finalise the approval.
Got it, thank you. How is the department treating the 25 projects that were approved by the WA EPA that were subsequently found to have been made with conflicts of interest? Does that make any difference at all to the way which you consider a process? Because, for example, the Row Highway assessment was one of those that was wrongly approved, I guess you could say.
Senator, in terms of those 25 projects, we went, for any that have been approved by the Commonwealth, we went through all our the assessment approach, the documentation available and provided, and all legal considerations were considered in any approvals that were taken.
I have no idea what you just told me then. So let's just come to the Row Highway one. You haven't initiated assessment yet, and you won't until it's worked its way through the WA process. But are you aware that that project was one of the ones that was approved with a conflict of interest by the EPA?
I'd have to take it on notice. Yeah, take
well,
it on
you're
notice,
aware or you weren't?
Senator. No, I'm not aware on that one.
Okay. Will there be any additional oversight or review for those projects in particular?
Well, we'll ensure that that all legal considerations as part of the Commonwealth approval process are met in making a recommendation on whether to approve a project or not.
But in this case, we've got hard evidence that it wasn't met in this one and 24 others. So how would you do that?
So, Senator, what we, as I was mentioning earlier on, consistently try to do is make sure that we take into account the state assessment and their conditions, so that informs us in terms of determining what sort of residual conditions, if any, are required. In this circumstance, we would want to take a look at where the state is in terms of its assessments and ensure that if there are any impacts on how we would be completing an assessment, that's taken into account appropriately. Okay. So as Dr. Banks talked about, we'll be taking a look at that process very closely.
I'll leave it there, thanks.